Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I welcome one and all to the 32nd meeting of Technopark Toastmasters. The Toastmasters fraternity. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. While we are in the meeting, we have three ground rules to follow. Please refrain from making any reference to religion, sex, and politics. Let us all stay on mute when someone else is speaking. Crosstalk can be avoided. These are the three ground rules. And we have a beautiful theme aligned for today, the little things. And that being said, I call the meeting to order. Handing over the control to the president. Over to you, Toastmaster Arati.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti, for starting off with your Sergeant at Arms duty. My dear fellow Toastmasters and our guest Toastmaster Nitya, welcome to the 31st meeting of Technopark Toastmasters. Today, we have lined up two speeches and a variety of other activities. But before we start, let me just give you a small story. There is a king who used to go around his kingdom in disguise, trying to talk to different villagers to get a feeling of what they are going through. And one day, while he was riding his horse disguised, he saw a man resting under a mango tree. He was a quite young man, and the king thought, this young man is just wasting his time being lazy, lying down there. Let me talk to him and inspire him. So he goes and talks to the villager. The villager does not recognize that he is a king. So he asks the villager, what are you doing here? I'm taking rest. Why don't you want to go and take a work and earn money? So he asks back, why should I do that? If you earn money, you can buy a house by the river, by the sea. Then you can look after your children. You can teach your children. You can give them good education. They can get settled in life. So yes, so then what happens? So once all your burdens are over, then you can sit in your house, watch the river, watch the sea, and take rest. So he asked back, what do you think I'm doing now? I'm taking rest. So even though it's a very small and a silly story, I always think that people's perspective of life is very different. What we want from life is different. You cannot measure two people with the same scale. With that thought, let us get into the meeting. Today we have someone who is going to lead a meeting. We have Prakash as a TMOD. We all know Prakash is being very active, and I've personally seen his growth from his first meeting to now. He has emerged as a very confident speaker, and he has very interesting perspectives to share. So with that, let me introduce the Toastmaster of the day, Prakash. Over to you. Let's have a great meeting.
Thank you, Madam President, for that introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is my pleasure to be the Toastmaster of the day for this meeting. A couple of weeks back, I was thinking about what would be the next topic that I can choose when I get to play the role of TMOD. So that's when this incident happened. I'll talk about that incident. Before that, the theme of the day is simple things, and the word of the day is euphoric. So it was on 19th November, on the day of Festival of the Lights. We were really busy with the preparation of steamed rice pancakes. Actually, it was on Kartika, and we were preparing Ilada. In short, we mixed rice and wheat flour and then started adding jaggery and water. My 3.5-year-old daughter was observing everything, and suddenly she wanted to play. Clearly, we did not want to get into that process. So we switched on the TV and allowed her to watch television. Then I started kneading the dough. I realized my thoughts suddenly drifted towards my childhood. I remembered how my grandpa used to prepare the ilada. It was a very grand affair for us. The entire day we usually spend for this. We started the day with collecting the leaves, then preparing the corns, and at around 6 or 7 o'clock, my grandpa usually mix the ingredients. We would usually hang around him, and sometimes he would allow us to knead the dough, and we were really happy about that. It was just a euphoric moment for us. And the part of the reason was we would be able to knead the dough. At the same time, our hands would be immersed in that dough. And once the process was over, we would be able to lick our hands and taste that dough. So it was such a simple thing, but it always pops into my mind whenever I think about my grandpa. My grandpa passed away maybe 15 years back, but still this is one incident. Whenever I think about him, always comes into my mind. Then I suddenly started thinking about all the other memories about my grandpa. All the things were really simple. Listening to his stories, going out with him to the fields and going to the ponds, so on and so forth. I just stood there for a while, then I just looked at my daughter, and she was glued into the TV, watching some Russian kids program. I hate this YouTube's recommendation engine. Now, maybe that will be another topic for another time. But anyway, I just switched off that TV and allowed my daughter to, knead the dough because I did not want to take away that dough moment from her. And as I expected, she made a mess of everything, but she was enjoying every bit of it. She was laughing and we completed everything. Perhaps, down the line, 20, 30 years down the line, she would be remembering this, cherishing this moment, this simple moment. My grandpa wouldn't have thought that I would be remembering him about this simple incident, but that's what happened. If you look back at your life, all the incidents that you remember about a person or a place would be something simple as this. Maybe having a cup of coffee with someone in the morning, seeing the sunrise, maybe taking a walk along the beach, or maybe having a heart-to-heart talk with someone, or maybe, listening to a particular song when it rains. So why these simple things are such powerful things when it comes to evoking the memories of a person or a place? I wanted, and then I thought, that's how it is actually. We sometimes do not understand it, but when you look back at your life, you clearly realize that this is what it is. And I can quote Paulo Coelho, and he said, it is the simple things in life. Those are the extraordinary things. With that thought, let us move into a meeting. Let me now invite the general evaluator to describe the evaluation process and introduce the team. The general evaluator for today is Toastmaster Nitya, who loves to watch Korean dramas, especially for the outfits. So, Toastmaster Nitya, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, TMOD Prakash. Good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters. So this is my first meeting with Technopark Toastmasters, so I'm really excited. So quickly going to explain my roles and responsibilities. I will be watching the meeting entirely from the beginning to the end, and I will have a keen sight on everyone's presentation. So I will try to do complete justice to that role. I will share my report at the when TMOD calls for the same. Thank you.
You have to introduce the tag team.
You have to introduce.
Okay, sorry for that. For my duties, to lighten my duties, I have a team with me. So let's see how they are going to take you through the roles and responsibilities. So first we can see, let's welcome the timer, Radhika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitya. Fellow Toastmasters, very good afternoon on a Friday afternoon. And my role as a timer is primarily to check a tab on each speech. And we do have a scheduled time frame. And the beauty of Toastmasters training is how to power pack that punchy communication within that time frame. So for the benefit of guests, the prepared speech is for 5 minutes, and you can, that is a green time, though it looks blue, it is actually green. So I will show you the green card when the prepared speech hits the 5 minutes time frame, and 6 minutes is this one, the yellow one, and 7 minutes would be the red one. And when you are exceeding the time, you will definitely get a 30 seconds buffer time to conclude your speech. So please keep an eye on my window and for the color-coded cards I would display there. And when you're talking about the table topic speeches, we all know that it is for 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute is green, 1 minute 30 seconds is yellow, and 2 minutes would be red. And I wish we are all ready to share our simple stories, simple things that we love to do, and have a good time today. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator Nitya.
Thank you, TM Radhika. Now let's invite our grammarian for the day, Shruti.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Nitya. Hello, everyone. Today I am bestowed with the duty of a grammarian. As you all know, grammarian notes down the words or phrases that are not grammatically correct, highlight inappropriate words, identify words that are used with the wrong meaning or in the wrong context. And also, what I love is highlighting the exceptional word usage and phrasing. So these are the primary roles and responsibilities of a grammarian. And there is another attractive catch with this role, which is introducing you all to the word of the day. Our Toastmaster of the day already introduced and used this word, but let us go through it again. Introducing you to the word of the day, euphoric, which means characterized by or feeling intense excitement and happiness. I believe this goes along with the theme of the day, which is the little things that make us happy. Sometimes, even if we are so stressed out, the little things makes us euphoric. What are they? Please recollect them. So how can we apply euphoric into sentences? Here are a few sample sentences. That idea received euphoric support from the crowd. She was euphoric on being chosen as the best table topic speaker. So these are a few examples. I encourage each and every one of you to utilize the word of the day when you are speaking. I will be coming up with a report towards the end of the day, towards the end of the session. And I am dueling up as an accounter as well. So clubbing with the grammarian role, I will be counting the R's, sound, and so you know all these connector words that we use while we are speaking. So that's it from me, and back at you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Shruti, and thank you so much for taking the dual role. So team, let's showcase a good presentation, and we will be back with our reports after your presentations. So back to TMOD Prakash.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitya. Now we are moving into our first segment, prepared speeches. We have 2 prepared speeches today. The first speaker today is Toastmaster Jasna, attempting her icebreaker speech in pathways engaging humor. The evaluator for the speech is Toastmaster Aravind. Toastmaster Aravind loves to spend time with elder people, especially with his grandmother. That's the simple thing he enjoys. Let me invite Toastmaster Aravind to share the objective of the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Aravind.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. So as a speaker, again, the key objective of the speech, which Jasna is trying to do is as part of her pathways on engaging humor. So I'm sure that the speech which she is going to give to all of us will be euphoric. So wishing you all the very best, Jasna. So from an evaluation perspective, the key things which we would need to notice, sticking onto the time aspect, and again the typical aspect of usage of words, engaging the audiences. So all those nuances is what we would need to focus on, please. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Prakash.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aravind, for describing the details. The speaker today is Toastmaster Jasna. Toastmaster Jasna loves to travel, but we would be hearing other small things as well. Toastmaster Jasna, things that shaped me. Small things that shaped me, Toastmaster Jasna. Over to you.
I seem to have a small internet issue, so if there is something, please let me know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you very much. This was the sound that I woke up to today morning, a hammering sound. I was so drowsy, I had no clue what was going on. But I got up, followed the sound, and I realized that there was a small woodpecker trying to carve a hole through my windowsill. I was actually taken aback. The sound was so huge and from such a small thing. I stepped forward, opened the window, and let the bird fly away. And the peace that came with that. It actually got me thinking about the n number of hammerings that I had taken in life, the adversities that I had to face, and the n number of windows I had to open. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Jasna Rafiq, and I'd like to take you through a journey, my very own journey, of the small things that shaped me to be who I am today. Flashback. My first career opportunity was in Bangalore. Like you see in the English movies, there was this big bully there. He was at least 5 to 6 years more experienced than me and almost twice my size. And every time he used to look at me, he looked at me like I was some kind of a weasel. I had no clue what was going on until I found the fact that he was actually working with my husband. So I thought, fair enough. But I had to get out of the situation. I couldn't have somebody looking at me like this. So I started looking for opportunities to change this. And one fine day, I was helping my husband with some store procedures, and voila, this person had written things wrongly. A lot of try catches missing, all of them, wherever it was written, it was done wrongly. So in my mind, it was like Archimedes shouting, Eureka, Eureka, of course with this cloth on. Anyway, I approached my husband, negotiated with him, and told him I'll try to talk to this person and help him out with it. As soon as he agreed, I ran to Google Uncle, became an expert in try catch, and ran back to this person. When I went to him again, he looked at me like I was something to stamp on. I held on to my patience, dragged a chair, sat next to him, and I explained to him where he was wrong and what are the things that could be done to fix it. His disgusted look at me slowly changed to something of an appreciation. Till the day I left the company, after that, when our paths crossed, he always used to smile at me. This was my first conquest in the IT industry and also my first lesson. Experience matters, but knowledge matters even more. If you are knowledgeable, respect will automatically follow. Fast forward. I am in the US, 6 months pregnant. Usually the whole world has a way of looking at pregnant women as weaklings. Oh, she's got such a big fat tummy, she cannot sit longer, she cannot move so fast, and whatnot. I had a big fat tummy, but I had a bigger problem. I was without work for at least 4 months, 4 to 5 months, I think. And that was like constantly nagging at me. So I waited for opportunities, something that I could do to proceed forward. There's this quote by Milton Berle that said, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. That was exactly what I did. I overheard my husband having a conversation with one of his friends where they were trying to recruit people in the US and they were not able to find the right people. His wife with a 9-month-old baby was trying to help out. They had hired another person, both of which was not working. There was no opportunity for me in there because I had zero experience on recruiting, but I still jumped in. I was a work aficionado and I was sure that I could prove myself. So In I go and I pitch my speech saying that I can do it, I can try, pregnancy is not a problem. And I go right in. Next week, I start working with them. 3 months, full-blown pregnancy. I found 10 recruits who were ready to join the company, who signed the consent form, and one person who I actually placed in a neighboring firm. That said, I came back to India 6 months later. When I went back to the US, the company had hired 5 people to do the job that I was doing. That was my second conquest in the IT industry. And it taught me 2 other lessons. Lesson 1, never underestimate a woman, especially a pregnant one. And lesson 2, if you put your heart and soul into what you need to do, nothing is going to stop you. Now, fast forward till today. 17 years into the IT sector, I work as head of delivery at BITS. I've been with this firm from the time I came back from the US. I have made a lot of changes in the firm. My biggest challenge was trying to get people to look at me as a person, as a leader, as a mentor, and not as the CEO's wife. Yes, folks, my husband is the CEO of BITS. So there was an add-on effort to try to get people to look at me the way I am. I think I've accomplished my goal. I have a client who I've been with from 2008 till today, and I've had the privilege to grow the team from 50 to 230 people, and still growing. I'm all about empowerment, be it man, woman. I think we should promote all, and I'm all about it. I think honesty is the best policy. I always try to follow it, and also that empathy will take you a long way. I am a fun-loving person, and I want everybody else around me also to have a lot of fun, and I want people to enjoy the work that they do. There is one mantra that I always follow, my very own mantra. There is nothing impossible in this world. There is always a way. You just need to find it. And this bell makes more noise than the hammer, but I think I still love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster, just now. What a speech. Let us all switch on our video and give a big round of applause to just now for completing your icebreaker speech. So, yeah, so what a lovely speech just now. What an inspiring speech. Knowledge matters, and your heart and soul into what you do. Yes. With that, we are going to the next speech. The next speaker is Toastmaster Arati, who is attempting her elective 2 in level 3 in Pathways Effective Coaching. The evaluator for this speech is DTM Srija. DTM Srija loves to create lists. That's the simple thing that she enjoys. Let me invite DTM Srija to share the objective of the speech. Over to you, DTM Srija.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Prakash. A very good afternoon to everyone and to the speaker in particular, Toastmaster Arti, who is going to attempt her level 3 elective 2 in effective coaching on how to make connection through networks. Now, when the Sergeant at Arms opened up the meeting, she said, this is something to improve our communication and leadership skills. And one of the hidden skills that Toastmasters really helps us to sharpen is our networking skills. We meet different type of people, each one with a different caliber, different types of work culture or different types of jobs. So we meet people who are in a completely different plane of life. And this is such an excellent moment for us. There's such an excellent opportunity for us to foster a networking skill, because that's how we can grow in our life. So today, Toastmaster Arti is going to present a speech. Now, the intention of the speech is for the member to recognize, to understand, to develop and practice her personal strategy for building connection through networking. Toastmaster Arti, please remember that you should not tell us about, it's not a report, so you're not going to tell us about networking skill, but you're going to tell us about a story or series of stories, or you can go on an information sharing session as well about your personal strategy. So really looking forward to it. And I absolutely love her title, which is Network Your Net Worth. I hope you hear the wordplay there. It's network, your net worth. All the best to Toastmaster Aarti, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Prakash.
Thank you, Toastmaster DTM Srija, for clearly specifying the objective. The speaker today is Toastmaster Aarti. Toastmaster Aarti loves to visit friends' house, and while sipping tea, while others are working, she would love to sip the tea and talks to them. That's what she loves to do. Toastmaster Aarti, network your net worth. Network your net worth. Toastmaster Aarti, over to you.
Hello, Arati. Are you available for a networking event this Friday? It's at O by Tamara, followed by high tea. That was an invite I got around 2 weeks back. And all I heard was O by Tamara and high tea. I said, yes, let's meet, because I was just waiting to get out of my house and to step into a 5-star hotel for an event that is paid for. Who wouldn't want to do that? My dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, we all have a reasons for doing things. We all have a reasons for networking. And let not my reason be the reason that you want to network. The event that is in question, or what we are discussing, is the networking event of WE, Women Inclusive in Technology, which was earlier known as EVIT and rebranded recently to WE. You know that EVIT sponsored the chartering of our club, and now it is called WE. So this networking event was related to the rebranding, and they were bringing together all the allies. Allies are supporters of this cause together. When I went there, I felt a little bad that I signed up for it because of the high tea, but it was worth the ride. Now, today I'm not here to talk about how good the networking event was, or how even more wonderful the high tea was. I'm here to share with you on why we need to do networking. First of all, why do we do networking? It is to know what is happening around us that may be of interest to us, that may be of use to us. So the event started with the WE team introducing their ideologies, what they have done, and the projects that they are associated with. And they invited people who are interested in collaborating to that project. Now, for me, that was very useful. It gave me ideas about projects that are in progress. And it also invited people who were allies to them to talk about how they were related to this organization WE and how their organizations are aligned to the theme. And then I made a mental note of these organizations. They added to my wish list or watch list of these are the organizations that are aligned to women empowerment and inclusion. I might be of use sometime later. The second reason why we go for such events is that it gives us a launch pad to market yourself or an activity that you are interested in. As it says, your network determines your net worth. When I walked in, I saw a senior leader who, on seeing me, he said, I'm following Technopark Toastmasters activity in LinkedIn. So I was so happy to hear that. And immediately later, when I got a chance to speak, I was invited, I spoke, and I was supposed to speak about my connection with WE. My friends later told me, Aarti was asked to talk about a cow. She tied the cow to the coconut tree and talked about the coconut tree, which is Toastmasters. Anyway, that was very good, because at the end of the networking session, most of the connects were related to public speaking. So it is an opportunity to launch yourself, market yourself about the things that you care about. The second or the third point is that you go to networking events with some objective in mind. Let's say my objective was to meet 5 new people. And as soon as I went there, I found that there were 4 or 5 allies. There were men leaders who I thought would not be attending repeat sessions of WE. So I made it a point to make conversation with them, because this might be the only opportunity to connect with them. So go in with an objective of why you want to attend a meeting. And when you go there, be prepared with your elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is, you all would know, a 30-second introduction about yourself or something you do. And it would be your opening, it would be your conversation starter, and it will be very contextual. So for me in this event, it was, I'm Arati, I'm with Suntech, and I am in product management. I am a lifetime member of V, and I help charter the Technopark Toastmasters Club. So my later conversations were around product management and public speaking. So know your elevators fit so that you can steer your conversations around that. And finally, you follow up the leads that you get. Once you establish connect to them over social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, depending on whether it's professional, or other social media like Instagram and Facebook, if it's more casual. And make sure that you connect right after the meeting. I made sure that I followed all these leaders in LinkedIn and send messages and set the initial connect. Whether I take it forward actively is a different matter. You never know when opportunity strikes. So I've made all the connects. My dear friends, networking is not just about talking with people. It is connecting people to people, people to ideas, people to opportunity. Because you never know in a conversation when an idea would pop up, when an opportunity would pop up. So next time you see an opportunity to network, walk in with confidence, your Toastmaster confidence, with your elevator pitch playing in your mind, an invisible bag on your back to carry back all the opportunities that you are going to seize. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arati. That's a really wonderful speech, which basically covered everything about networking, how and why we need to network, and of course, the importance of elevator pitch. Thanks for that. And with that, we have reached the end of prepared speeches. We are now moving to table topics, the most interesting and fun-filled session of the meeting, where we all get an opportunity to deliver an impromptu speech. And today we have Toastmaster Manu as topics master. Toastmaster Manu loves gardening. Toastmaster Manu, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I am euphoric to present a different twist to our table topics today, rather than the usual things. So today, the twist is that so I'll present a topic, and I would like two people to talk on that topic, one for the topic and one against the topic, right? So let me share who wants to go first. And I would like that person to talk for the topic and that person to select the other person who can go for the against part. So who wants to go first? Hi, thank you, Toastmaster.
I would like to go.
So let me.
So it's like 1 minute you talk for it. How is it? Can you explain the rules once again? I'm sorry.
The timing should be the same.
2 minutes I
2
talk
minutes
for
yeah.
it.
Yes, for it, and then select somebody who can talk against it.
Okay.
So Toastmaster meetings are good online rather than in person.
I select now or I just start speaking?
Yeah, this is the topic. You can talk for it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topic Master. And of course, the Toastmasters meeting are good online rather in person. Now, let me give you an example why. What happens when the meetings happen in person? You go, you stand in front of about 20 people and then you speak. Full stop. That's all, right? Can't we replicate the same online? So here I am. I just stand up, right? That's all. So I stand up and I speak in front of all the people who are available here. Now, let's look at the other advantages of having an online meeting. When you're here in Trivandrum, can you go to Thrissur and attend a meeting? Forget Thrissur. Let's go a little far away. Can you go to Gujarat and attend a meeting? Let's go outside India. What about going to Qatar? What about going to US? What about going to Ireland? Can you do that in a real Toastmaster in-person meeting? Well, probably you can if you've got the flight tickets and you're very, very rich. But in most of the cases, since we are all working professionals over here, that's quite not possible. The advantage that online meeting gives you surpasses any advantage that the in-person gives you, provided you are ready to stand up and take up the challenge and present as if you're presenting in a real life meeting. You can do cheating. You can just read your script there from the system, but then you're cheating, aren't you? If you look at it, the advantages of an online meeting far surpasses the advantages that are given by the in-person meeting. And so, my dear friends, I request all of you to agree with me that in any case, online meeting is far, far better than the in-person meeting. Thank you very much. Table Topics Master, I would like to select our grammarian Shruti to go for the next one.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Srija, for picking me. I knew that this was coming towards me. I totally respect all the pointers put forward by the speaker, but let me take a moment. Can you all see my head? No?
Oh,
If I move this way, you might be able to see my left hand moving. If I move this way, you can see my gestures. That is exactly what I miss whenever I am in a virtual meeting. I cannot utilize my stage, the left, the right, the front, the back, anything. I have to constantly worry about my camera position. I do miss the physical stages which we used to have before the pandemic era. That is my primary pointer when I got the topic, that I do choose physical meetings compared to online meetings because of the stage. Yeah, I am a person who loves stage. Okay, let me see what else is there. Some of the persons are not on video. Some of the persons are seen as black boxes, but when I am in a physical meeting, I can see, I can make real eye contact with the people present over there. That is why I prefer physical meetings compared to online meetings. Yeah, that's it from my end, and back to you, Toastmaster Manu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. It was
Manu, you should
great
give me
seeing
30
this.
seconds to break her logic also.
So let's go for the who wants to
Manu,
go next? Yes.
I
Yes.
think we will be able to go for one more thing. We are already
Yes.
past the time, so yeah,
Yeah.
we'll take one more. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I'll try.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. Public schools are better than private schools.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manu. First thing which comes to my mind once I hear this topic is the presentation made by Radhika in our last session. Equality, justice. Public schools give you the opportunity to learn high quality education irrespective of the economical status which you are belonging to. One, don't you want to learn from high qualified people? Don't you want to learn from people who can be there for you rather than, I'm not generalizing, rather than some schools where people pay more attention to the economical aspects, the money. Oh, in a private school, you can learn swimming, you can learn cooking, you can learn a plethora of things. But the basic touch of humanity, the basic touch of the respect, the basic touch of gratitude in which you can show to people, isn't it playing a pivotal role in enhancing our value system? Public schools has got a phenomenal role to play there. Now, we are human beings. We have the opportunity not only to interact with high-fi people in the globe, high-fi people in the society. There are people who are coming from different strata in the society. That is also part of our learning system, learning mechanism. And that opportunity is something which a public school gives you. So rather than bookish learning, the opportunity to learn from your experience can take you far, far, far more in your life. Thank you so much.
Do you want to recommend somebody to talk against it?
I would request TMOD Prakash.
Oh my God. Thanks for that. And I totally agree with all the points that you have raised. But I just wanted to tell you a personal story. Growing up, I learned in a public school, but we have all these arts classes, we have music classes, we have physical education classes. But if you ask a person who studied in public school system, how many of them would say that they have attended all these classes? The chances are very bleak. You will always get maths, science, and everything. You have all the system ready, but it's not good. It's not good enough, actually, at least at this moment. So I would always suggest that it is advisable to go for private school system where you can, maybe your kid will get all the opportunities that you have missed. So go for private schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. So that's it from the table topics for today.
Yeah, so thank you, Toastmaster Manu. It was such an interesting way of conducting this. And with that, we will go to the evaluation. Let me invite General Evaluator to give the evaluation report. Over to you, Toastmaster Nidya.
Thank you, TMOD Prakash. So we are going in the speech order, right? We are going for the evaluation of the speeches, then for the tag team, right?
Yes.
So let's invite our evaluator for the icebreaker speech, TM Aravind.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitya. So before I proceed with that, can I request TM Radhika to help me with the timer, with the timing of the session?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. I can give you the timing of both the prepared speeches. Jasna took 6 minutes, perfect pitch on the dot. And Arati, 6 minutes, 55 seconds, well within her time limit of 7 minutes, perfect pitching. And actually, if you look at the table topic timings also, it was all perfectly pitched. I will come back to you if you need that report later.
Sure. Thank you, Radhika, for that. So Jasna's presentation, what to say? I'll probably start with something which went very well. Definitely her energy, the confidence, the language usages in her presentation. And Jasna, as we all know, is a speaker who has got a lot of vocabulary as well. So her command over English language was very visible in her presentation. There were some key great points which Jasna have shared to the audience. One, if you are knowledgeable, respect will follow. Again, the core purpose of Toastmasters and why we all are here. If you put your heart and soul into what you do, respect again will follow. And the quote as well. So her presentation has got a fine structuring, fine build of using properties, which was also extremely good, and then followed by a logical conclusion and in terms of sharing that proper structure as well. So overall, it went extremely well. And as we all expected at the start, she definitely gave a euphoric presentation to all of us as well. Now, few things which I would want to just bring in to her attention pertaining to this presentation. One was the eye contact. Eye contact means there were 3 instances where in which she was looking towards top right and top left. So maybe that is something which we can improve. There was one time where in which in the fag end of the presentation, she spoke by closing her eyes as well. So I'm sure just as a speaker who usually does all these things pakka, but this is something which has come across in today's presentation. One thing which I would request her to give a predominant emphasis into is with her pace. Because of her command of her presentation, she is able to speak very fast. If she is able to reduce the pace a tinge, wow, her presentation can definitely move to the next level. So these are some observations which I had. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Prakash.
Thank you, TM Aravind. Let's invite our next evaluator, TM Srija.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Good afternoon again, and to the speaker in particular, Toastmaster Aarti. It was extremely euphoric when she presented this speech, not only because I loved her title, I cannot emphasize on it more. I absolutely loved her title, but also because this is the project that I'm also preparing. So there's a dual reason for it. Let's look into the things that she did great. The opening was definitely eye-catching, where she immediately, not only with her hand gestures, but she immediately set the context of what the networking event is. So very well done on that. Whenever we sometimes give a speech, sometimes the content becomes too much and it becomes very difficult for us to understand or clearly categorize. And to help us with that, she actually listed down everything: 1, 2, 3, 4. So she actually presented 4 different pointers that we want to, or we should do when it is a networking thing. So that's very well done. And I've said this, I'm repeating it, I loved her word choice. Alley, worth the ride, even more wonderful, elevator pitch, invisible bag. And the cherry on the top of the cake is network your net worth. So much of energy, time, thinking goes into all these things. So congratulations, Aarti, on that. Let me look into certain things that you can definitely improve. And this is going to be my standard comment to any speaker. If you don't stand and speak, then you have missed out 50% of your speech, because as you know, your body language speaks about 85% of your speech, right? So I would definitely want all the speakers to stand up and speak. I understand there are some problems with it, but always make sure that your wire is long enough, whatever you come inside the frame. Toastmaster Shruti told us about the issues, hands and all, but that and all is a part of your preparation. That's how you prepare. So you know that you're present. Now, even if you're sitting, Toastmaster Aarti, I couldn't see your hands. So I could see your hands moving down, and probably for your phone, I could see your hand, but otherwise your hands were not visible, though I knew it were there. Maybe you need to adjust your camera a little bit so that when you speak, your hands are clearly visible. So that's going to be my standard comment. Also, a lot of your gestures were single-handed. You're continuously using only one hand. Maybe you can just make it dual. Second thing, when you started with it, the objective that you placed was, why do we do networking? Whereas the objective of the speech is, how do I do networking? Though when you moved into your speech, you told us about what is to be done and how did I do it. So that was matching, and that was a task well done. But just pay attention that you actually said, why do we do networking? And you were talking more on that. I also felt that you were not as well prepared as you usually are. You made a little bit of mistakes in not able to remember words, or your grammar was incorrect in a couple of places, which never happens with you. So I would like you to pay attention to that as well. Coming back to all the great pointers, your speech, for those who really listened and wrote down the pointers, it was just not a speech that you listen and forget. There were so many pointers that we must do. I actually don't do the 4th pointer, which is follow them and connect immediately to them. I don't do that, and I'm going to do that, taking your advice. So very practical advices that you gave, and something that you placed properly about in the steps that we need to do. Maybe you could have repeated the steps for the others so that they could remember it, summarize it, or just give it in some words, something like just create an abbreviations for it so that everyone could remember. But apart from that, I absolutely loved your speech, and congratulations on completing your speech. I haven't seen my timer's green card, and thus I am just going to continue with my comments. And here comes my timer with the timing card of yellow. Thank you very much. Over to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Srija. So let's move on to the tag team report. First, let's invite our timer, Radhika.
I'm just searching for the unmute button. Sorry about that. Thank you, Toastmaster Nitya. And as I have mentioned, it is euphoric moment for all of us because all the speakers were keeping the time tag on perfect pitch. And so when I have mentioned about Jasna and Aarti, both of them were well within their prescribed time. 6 minutes for Jasna and 6 minutes 55 seconds for Aarti. And Srija in her table topics, she has taken 2 minutes 5 seconds. And here in the evaluation also, she has taken 2 minutes 55 seconds. And Shruti, she has taken 1 minute 50 seconds in her table topic, and Aravind has taken 1 minute 30 seconds, and Prakash was touch and go at 59 seconds. So this is the timer evaluation, yes, and Aravind has done his evaluation well within the time frame of 3 minutes. Thank you so much. And back to you, General Evaluator Nitya.
Thank you, Team Radhika. Let's invite Shruti to give her dual report on Demarian as well as our counter.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. In respect to the time, I am going to keep my report really short. Starting with Aarti, during her presidential address, I noticed 2 sounds and 2 so's. Coming to Toastmaster of the day, he mentioned Trikartiga, but then he broke into a laughter in between, which was difficult, it was difficult to identify the word. If it was not the audience who understood the language, it would be difficult for them. And the pronunciation of for, when you speak for, the A sound is a bit prominent rather than the O sound. So it is for. For everyone, when we say any word starting with W, it is good to round our lips. We, worst, etc. And when we say words that starts with V, we have to bite our lips. Very, like that. That's for everyone. Also, Prakash used so once. And whenever I think about my grandpa, if we could replace it with another word, like maybe reminisce, it would have been better. That's it. Coming to Nitya, I heard a couple of R's and so's. Coming to Radhika, a very good afternoon on a Friday afternoon, which was repetitive. But there were many good usages, touch and go, power pack, the punchy communication, etc. Coming to R's, there was 2 R sounds, and was used as a connector many times. She also used the word of the day. Then Toastmaster Aravind, while explaining the rules, guidelines for the speech, he said used so once, and he said engaging the audiences, it should be engaging the audience. Coming to just now, hammering sound, she used, she phrased her sentence like that. Hammering itself means sound of hammering, so hammering would do. She also said carve a hole, which was nice usage, and was used as a connector many times. She also used work aficionado, which was a previous word of the day. She also said that said, it should have been that being said, which was a slip of tongue. I also found the usage conquest, it was a good usage. She also mentioned mantra. If it was a mixed audience, mantra would not have been recognized. So a slogan would be a good replacement. Coming to distinguished Toastmaster Srija Shashidharan, she used now twice and a sound once. Aarti during her speech and was used as a connector. Our sound was there once, and I would request you to check the pronunciation of Alice. It is Alice and not Alice. There were many good usages. Coming to Toastmaster Manu, there is nothing much, just once. Toastmaster Aravind during his table topics, in between a sentence, you said, I'm not generalizing, but if it was said as a different sentence, it would have been nice. I have to rush. Okay, I guess I would wind it up now because of the time constraints. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you, and over to you, Nitya.
Thank you, Shruti. Moving on to my evaluation report for the meeting. For the pre-preparation about the meeting, there were last-minute confusion on the rows. It would be great if we can minimize. It's hard to avoid in a TM meeting, but it will be great if we can minimize the confusions and not to make it as a habit. And we delayed the meeting by 6 minutes. That's not so good with a TM meeting. So you could see that we have spent almost, we started the first piece by 12:20. So again, when it comes to evaluation, we need to rush up that evaluation as we took too much time in the beginning of the meeting to start up the speech. So it will be better to give the chance for the speakers to speak and for the evaluators to give a proper evaluation, as 6 people are spending their eyes and ears throughout the meeting for until 1 hour. So it will be fair if we give some more time for the evaluation to give the fair report. And when coming to the tag team, sorry, I screwed up the missing that tag team invitation. So again, when it comes to the speeches, when we start with the speeches, I'm sorry if I missed. I think just now Icebreaker Speech, I didn't get that title. Sorry if it is a mistake, miss from my part. But if it is not, we can include the title when evaluator presents the invites just now for the speech. Yeah, and one more suggestion is like the grammar can share the word of the day in that chat so that we can just have a look later, because I completely forgot what was the word. And when it comes to evaluation, we had wonderful evaluators, but I think that evaluator report should not be biased on the timer report, as we have a separate evaluator for timer. So and we need to invite the timer twice for giving the report. So if we can avoid that a little, we can adjust that time as well. So these are the areas which I found we need to improve. Let's talk on the good part of our meeting. You have got a wonderful theme for the meeting, small things. That is a very wonderful theme. It just taken by everyone with their personal emotions. So that theme was wonderful. It gives the fair chance for everyone to be attentive toward the meeting and come up with good speeches, so good memories. And good start by our essay. The rules were explained very crisp to the point. And I would like to comment on our TMOD Prakash, because he made entire transition from the very beginning to the end without any flaws. That is, the smooth transition is actually the beauty of a TM meeting. And also TMOD shared good story glimpse on from his personal life, which actually brought a life to that meeting. So I could see that Manu had bring wonderful table topics. Actually, the topics were enough for us to debate for next 1 hour if we get a chance. So it's good that we get topics. Usually, I could see that for a table topic, no one will not come front to speak. But these topics were, give us a chance so that we can debate. I could see that Srija wants to come again to be Shruti. And again, I could see that you have got a wonderful audience, because whenever the speech was going, especially for Jasna, and that every moment when that enthusiasm was arising, I could see in the faces of all the audience. So being wonderful audience, being good listeners is actually great. So overall, I would personally say it was a nice experience with my teammate here. So overall, the meeting was well enjoyed. And thank you. And over to TM.
Thank you, General Evaluator and the tag team for the detailed report. We have already crossed the time. Thanks everyone for joining once again. The point is to find and create moments of happiness throughout your day, because all these small things are replete in our daily life. So let's focus on that. If the small things can bring joy and happiness, don't you think we should deliberately focus on that and give attention to